I've read a spoiler. And it says that at the end of chapter 7, there's a mini game that looks just like Path of Exile 2.
What?
I'm saying that if we now go into Path of Exile 2, it's still Higurashi because it's the mini game that comes at the end credits.
Imagine having the unique opportunity to choose the first words you want to welcome people into your stream with, and you... I'm even misswallowing air. And you piss it away with something as worthless as that.
I thought it was a good one. Also, Anna Ranger, it was extremely un-German of Jack to be 1 minute late.
I have an excuse. You will see the excuse in, I believe, the second half of the stream. Just saying. But Ranger, thank you very much for the resub. Love.
Love.
A whole minute late, yes. I was still doing something that you will see in, I think, about 90 to 120 minutes. Sorry.
The
Welcome
German.
in Ranger, welcome in Psycho, welcome in everybody. Psycho, congrats on being first. Nice. Appreciate it.
True, I forgot that one. If the Germans aren't punctual, what hope do any of us have?
Yeah, about that. That whole thing kind of stopped, like, I want to say 10, 15 years ago. That hasn't been a thing in a long time, unfortunately. Germans...
Excuse me, have you seen your family?
There's like 80 million Germans, Tifa. My family is 3 people. Including me.
Yeah,
and we're not representative.
Yeah, but then it still applies to a lot of Germans, I know.
You know 3 Germans, and only 3. That's not true, and you know that.
So I'm saying it applies to a lot of Germans I know, so I still think it's very accurate.
Punctuality is something that is appreciated in Germany, because honestly, if you're late for stuff, that's not really respectful of anybody's time, right?
It's like 80 million Mexicans. I'm pretty sure they're all my cousins.
I will just sit here and drink my coffee from my cow cup. Wow, not all Mexicans are that. Yes, they are. Ranger just said so. He is actually Mexican. He is the most equipped person to tell us about this.
Hmm?
Since when? Generalizations.
I shall believe all the facts Ranger tells me.
So would you like to tell people why you decided to open the stream in this absolute trash way?
Why? Why is it trash?
Tifa didn't see any spoilers, at least not that I know of. But for some reason, and I cannot explain to you why, Tifa's current flavor of the weekend game has been Path of Exile 2, which, in case you might think the beginning of the intro that Tifa chose feels like an ad, here's the counter proposition to this. Tifa bought Path of Exile 2 last year, or earlier this year, I don't remember when, a while ago.
Yeah.
A while ago. And you did this after you played and finished Diablo 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then you played, I think, Path of Exile 2 for like 15 hours? And then you didn't touch it in half a year.
Yeah, it was still in early access. It had some bugs.
Why would you buy things in early access?
Because cheaper and you got some...
Never buy things in early access.
It's okay, I had fun playing it. But now I waited a little bit, and then I had no time for the longest time to actually play. Then I wanted to play last month, but then I was like, a new season is gonna start in a month. So then I'm just gonna wait for that, and now that started on Friday, so now I started playing again.
Disclaimer. You had fun because you spent money. Buyers. Buyers is... That's beautiful. Not only because of alliteration, but also buyers seems like something that could be said by an adult Dora the Explorer. No?
I see it.
Can you say buyers?
My nose super itchy.
Nice. Yeah, that's what you get. I want to apologize to every single video game developer out there who launched a game in early access and then properly launched it and then made a good game. I know you exist, since this whole beginning of the stream is generalizations. I know they exist. I truly do know that. But I've been burned. We have talked at length about the games I've backed on Kickstarter. Mighty Number 9, Shenmue 3. That didn't go well. I believe in the last 4 or 5 years I bought one game in early access, and that was Whisker Squadron Survivor.
That's not true.
That is true, I bought that.
There is one more that you bought.
Let me finish. Whisker Squadron Survivor is one of the games that was featured heavily in the original marketing material for the Steam Deck. If you go and watch the trailers and the ads back then, there's a game. It looks kind of like Vaporwave. It's like Star Fox, kind of. There's a spaceship flying towards the screen and it's shooting. And I saw this and I thought, this looks like Star Fox, like Lilith Wars, like the games I grew up with. I love this. I love on-rail shooters. I need to buy this. And then I saw it was on early access, and then I didn't buy it. And then your family, for my birthday like 2 or 3 years ago, bought me a Steam voucher. And then I thought, meh, might as well use it. And then I bought Whisker Squadron Survivor because it was on sale, right? Because it's early access and they had another game in the same franchise planned. Notice my wording there. So I bought Whisker Squadron Survivor. And I loved it. It was basically like a roguelite Star Fox survival thing. You do a run, you play for like 10-15 minutes, you make it to the end, or you die, you rinse and repeat. It was really fun.
Then what's your problem?
Then they properly launched version 1.0 back in February of 2025, I believe. They suddenly put in
It is 2025.
Yes, but it's almost September. So half
back
a year
in
ago.
February.
They launched version 1.0 after already leading into like a story mode that nobody asked for. If you go to the Steam forums, you'll find plenty of people like, can we have a survival mode back? Because we thought that was going to be the game, and that's why we gave you money. We want the thing back we loved. You took out features, and now you do this really like half-assed story thing, and it's not as fun. Can we go back? No, that's our vision. Well, the game launched, and ever since then, there has been absolute quiet. No news, no updates. Until the other day when I was like, this is weird. I used to like update this game like every 2 to 4 weeks whenever we had something new. This is strange, it's been like half a year. Yeah, the developer went defunct. The CEO had to lay off all staff. It's a one-person company now, and that's it. You wouldn't know this if you check on Steam, where it's still being sold.
That's on you for investing in these games.
You have to go to the Steam forums to find somebody doing the sleuthing work to put the link in there to the LinkedIn post where they announced this.
Used your money on NFTs. That is like...
Probably. Probably.
All of the early access games I have bought, I have enjoyed, I still play.
Name them. I just named and shamed. Now it's yours.
RuneScape, which you have also bought and liked.
RuneScape isn't early access. RuneScape is out for 20 years.
The dragon one.
Oh, the spin-off one that they made. The Fortnite survival thing.
And you bought that one too, and you've enjoyed it.
Okay.
So lies
enough.
On the internet.
So far, the little bit I played with you is alright. I still hope they don't tremendously fuck it up.
Path of Exile too.
I don't like it. They have a free weekend currently, so Tifa made me download it again. I can't. I just don't find it enjoyable at all.
I mean, that is fair.
It's not for me. I also don't like the Diablo games. I've tried to play Diablo 3 or 4. I see why people like it, but I don't. Okay.
If you played Sin and Punishment on the NS64 and also on the Switch Online.
And a what 64?
On the N64.
Yes, I have, and I liked it. Maybe I'll stream it at some point.
Doesn't ring a bell.
What are you doing? Because you make a super weird sound, like you are a locust.
I was just playing with this.
Okay. I heard a weird cricket kind of sound coming from her crotch.
The cricket is in your earpiece.
No, in the room. It's her nails going over the fabric of a little octopus plushie. Weird.
Bought Maximum Football 25 in early access. My hope is that one day someone else can use the NFL license to create a simulation American football game to compete with EA.
That'd be nice.
Unfortunately, they have exclusivity license at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ever gonna lose that because I think that's the only thing they still earn money off of.
Yeah, their sports games still sell gangbusters.
Yeah.
Which is, to this day,
that's it.
like always kind of strange to me, but I guess if you want to play a sports game, your safe bet is to just buy the latest one from EA. Because they've been around doing this for like, what, 30, 35 years? So if you haven't played one in like a decade and you want a new one, you probably just go, oh, I'll just buy the new like EA soccer game or the EA NFL game and then I just play that. So I get it in a way, but I've also seen people that buy the new one every year and it's like, as long as you're having fun, I guess it's alright, but this could be DLC, you know? This doesn't need to be a full price game every year.
I can't do the Diablo games either. Thought I'd like them because I enjoy big hack and slash games.
That's what I'm saying. It's not for everybody. But
yeah, fair. I really enjoyed them.
You've only played 4.
Well, true. I
love them. I only played 1 of them.
Well, true. I said it in plural, but I've really loved 4. I absolutely love the story and graphics in it. But at some point, especially, I got a bit annoyed because the DLC just ends in the middle of the story without telling you.
So that you, in a year or two, whenever a new one comes out, that you'll go buy that.
Yeah, I probably still will. Just because I want to have that closure of all that happens. And I do enjoy the gameplay. But at
please
some point,
pre-purchase Diablo 5 launching in 2032.
But at some point it just gets really repetitive. I also enjoy Path of Exile, but the story is shit if you ask me. Like it's not as immersive as like Diablo was. It's like meh.
I just don't vibe with her gameplay. There's a game that is, I want to say, arguably a little bit similar that I want to stream with you. Silver, that's the name of the game. It's like an action RPG kind of thing. It's single player, so we can just play together, but it's kind of vaguely, remotely similar to those games. But it has a story that just takes you along. Versus, oh, I'll make a new character and then I go click on things until I'm max level and then I grind for equipment. If you like that, cool. I don't. It's the same in MMOs. I've generally never enjoyed the end game PvP stuff. I'm usually all in on the story. And then at some point I'm maxed out and I'm like, guess I'm done now.
It was especially like that with Terra back then.
Yeah.
I think we had like 15 characters max level.
Every single class.
Because we kept restarting.
Between the two of us, every single class. I think you've done all classes yourself too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed the gameplay itself, but what quite often happens is the moment you reach endgame, I'm there like, what do I do?
And then you do the hardcore PvP stuff.
Where do I go?
Stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
Like I lose my purpose for some reason.
I can never lose my purpose because my purpose sits right next to me.
I need to finish Baldur's Gate 3. Yes! Absolutely. How far did you get?
Also, Psycho says he played Satisfactory in early access, a lot of fun. Just started 1.0 one day. I always thought that was like fully launched. I didn't even know Satisfactory was in early access. Okay, that's been around for a while and I think I've only, like, for people that like that game, I've only ever seen glowing reviews. Like, oh my god, it's amazing.
Okay.
I can't get into it. I've
never seen it.
I think Fody played it like once or twice back then. And it just overwhelms me. For me, Satisfactory looks like work. So I'm just like, nope, I'm good. Unless it's Mario games, I don't like PvP. I want to lose because I suck, not because I'm playing against Neo. Yeah, fair enough. Or not Neo, but somebody who spent money on the game on top of what you spend on the game when it's pay to win. That annoys me the most.
That's true. In MMOs, I'm not a big fan of PvP myself either.
Yeah, never once, dude. I think... Was there mandatory PvP as a mission as a quest in Final Fantasy XIV? No.
More like a side quest, something with Wolf's Island. There's this area
that's completely optional, you don't have to do it.
Yeah, but you have like this side quest that leads you there, but you don't have to do it.
No mandatory PvP in 14. Yes, I enjoyed that. We did the raid stuff a bunch.
We did the daily.
Yeah, because of what you get for it. Yeah. Not because we really wanted to. More like, hey, this is convenient, this is the fastest way to grind XP and money, so let's just do this. Yeah, that was well done.
Basically, yeah.
Can you stop yawning? We have Higurashis to finish later.
Well, then let's start finishing the Higurashis.
No, we're having a conversation right now. Oh my god, imagine having a conversation going and go, oh, no.
We can still have a conversation going.
I hate her sometimes. This is one of those moments. Ranger, answering your question about Baldur's Gate 3, I think I started Act 2. I stopped playing because life got cutting and I couldn't remember what I had or hadn't done. Just start over. I feel that.
Yeah, that is very fair.
With like story-heavy games, for me it's the same. Like once I'm out of it for too long, I'm like, okay, I don't remember why any of this is important. I have a vague inkling of what was happening, but I'm not in it anymore. And then I realize I've played for like 20, 30, 40 hours and I'm like, do I just start over? But
I had that with Xenoblade. I couldn't remember the buttons anymore.
Oof. To be fair though, you forget the buttons all the time.
I mean, true, but not to the point where I had no clue how to actually attack and stuff.
Okay, fair enough, the Xenoblade games are basically single-player MMOs in terms of gameplay, I want to say. Which I always thought I wouldn't like, and then I fell in love with it.
I remember that making choices mattered in Baldur's Gate, and I had choice paralysis in the first conversation back. I had exactly the same, not even when I came back to it, but from the start. Like, I saved at every choice.
Watching Tifa play was so freaking annoying.
I wanted to know what happens with every single pick.
She would literally sit in... What I already played a bit ahead of her. I knew this conversation was ultimately pointless. But Tifa was sat there with like 8 options. She would quick save, pick the first one. No, I don't like this. Reload. Pick the second one. Okay, I'm okay with this, but what's the... Reload, do the third one. A 30-second conversation in-game took her 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, sometimes you just want to know what else is there. I would still like to stream Baldur's Gate at some point. I remember Andric once being live, and he
when it was in early access.
When it was in early access, he had this... Twitch I don't know what it's called, this plugin active, where viewers could pick which choice he had.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it at the time, but I made him pick every choice that ended up getting him killed. Oh,
you did know. Trust me, you did know instinctively.
I did not know it would give you a game over in some of the
Should I attack this whole village and aggro everybody when I'm alone? Yes, totally. Click that. Or should I scam this salesperson out of everything and try to leave him here stark naked? Yes.
Like I made him kiss the Mind Flayer. Like those were all just fun options.
There's a thing that eats brains. Should I make out with it?
I wonder if they have an extension for the PS5. I
wouldn't put it past Lariat to do that, but I don't know.
I do not know, but that just seems like such a fun thing. And maybe at some point I would like to start streaming it.
You made him what? On. Tifa made Andric's character in Baldur's Gate French kiss a Mind Flayer. Now, this is no spoilers really for Baldur's Gate 3.
It happens right at the beginning.
If you don't know, a Mind Flayer is basically a squid with tentacles, but also on a humanoid body. It's
basically
all part
Davy
of it.
Jones.
And a Mind Flayer flays your mind with magic. But they also really like to eat brains. I think that's the only thing they eat. So Tifa, in her infinite wisdom, was like, yeah, go kiss the Mind Flayer. Guess how that worked out?
Such a fun option.
It's like putting your head in a wood chipper or blender. Spoilers. Why would you do that? Tifa would become one of those marine biologists, and then you would read in the newspaper that she got her head chomped off because she was trying to brush a shark's teeth.
Oh, that would be so cute.
No, it would be horrible. And I don't blame the shark. Sharks don't have hands. They have to use their teeth to find out what's around them. The shark is doing shark stuff. Tifa in this imaginary situation is doing dumb
Tifa
stuff. I guess, yeah. Oh my god. Anyway, that's why ultimately Tifa greeted you all like this. Ow. I kicked her table. Unfortunately, there's no extension for consoles. No!
Don't you have the game on PC as well?
Even if there's no extension, you could every single time ask people what they would choose. And then just take it from there.
That's possible.
Just saying the extension makes it like nice and clean and easy. It only works if your viewers are using like Windows, I think, and Chrome specifically. And I'm not sure if it works on all browsers.
Oh, I don't recall now. I just remember there was like this voting option, and then Android could see how many people voted for.
I think you can even set that up so that it doesn't tell you what people voted for, but that it does use their vote. Which is a horrible idea if you have people like her watching.
Just use save states.
Tifa, no hard drive, no SSD in existence is big enough to make enough save states to keep the playthrough going with somebody like you making these choices. I also voted to fight everything. Yeah,
that's basically the evil playthrough. I tried that, but then there were moments where I was like, oh no, I can't kill this dog. I can't kill this animal, so it's not really an evil playthrough anymore.
That's true, we did that together. Tifa insisted we basically be the magic space Nazis. We will fight everybody, we will kill everybody, we will murder hobo our way through the world, until she changed it so that animals are exempt from that rule.
Yeah, I'm not that much of a monster. I also realized how fast you can then go through the game. So much of your content has died.
If you miss out on like every quest because, oh, there's a person, kill them. Yeah, naturally. Also, how do you keep moving your way over to the left side of a frame?
I tried being evil and I spoke to kids and cried because Olivia was like 3.
No.
I
feel that.
I have done one, I want to say, nice playthrough. I've done the evil playthrough.
Yeah, we did that together.
Now I started another one a while ago where I wanted to do a no reroll playthrough.
Which you failed basically instantly because some of our rolls you really wanted to go well, you just failed.
It lasted like a bit. Like if we ever stream it, I do want to just go with it. What happens, happens.
And I even told her, you know, there's a mod for this. You can just download a mod on PC that takes out the randomness from skill checks. It just makes you always win or always lose or interferes with them if you want to.
What's the fun of that?
The fun of that is that if I have a specific way I want the story to go in mind, I can achieve it without save scumming. And it just saves my time. If I just load and save all the time anyway, I can just rig it. If I rig it through wasting my time, I might as well rig it through modding the game.
Just so you know, if we ever stream Baldur's Gate, there's one thing no one gets to decide. And that's who our lover will be, because that's going to be Asteri.
Sitting right here next to you, I'm hurt. I mean, I don't blame you, I get it.
A big shadow heart.
I'm just saying she's best girl. Then again, Karlach exists.
I started the Karlach romance in my current run. It was kind of disappointed, but now we're getting there.
You were kind of disappointed in Karlach.
Compared to the others, she
Tifa,
has
we're
very
gonna have
little... No, compared
issues.
to the others, she has very little lines. And especially now, until the end of Act 2, she just repeats the same things. There's no variation.
There's a reason
in it
for
anymore.
that. No
Yeah,
discussion
I get
about
it.
that because
But
spoilers.
compared to the others, it felt very disappointing. And now that I actually, actual spoilers, now that I actually saved her and you can touch her and everything.
Why don't you put up a spoiler thing, you asshole?
That's not really a spoiler at this point anymore. Her lines open up, so it gets much better.
I hate Tifa so much right now. Imagine having all of this made specifically because you exist and then not using it.
The voice actors are extremely committed. Yes, it's part of what makes the game so great.
The game.
The game.
Tifa openly just saying she's gonna bang the Emperor's Squid. She would if she could.
I was thinking about it first, but I didn't want to ruin my playthrough.
Spoilers for Baldur's Gate 3 because Tifa hasn't said it.
Well, whatever.
Now, since we're already here and I'm already angry about this, can you stop clicking your nails?
I can't. They're there.
Now, spoilers for Baldur's Gate 3. Tifa just told you that she is mad at a character who, through very, very good in-story reasons, is physically incapable of having a relationship.
I did not say mad.
Disappointed, which is even worse, because she did nothing to deserve. Karlach did nothing to deserve that fate. So Tifa is one. Well, if I can't fuck it, then I don't care. That's the energy you gave me, there.
No, but you only have to until, and that's probably because of me. But until spoilers, until the almost end of Act 2, you only have 2 lines with her.
It took you up until almost the end of Act 2 because you're bad at this?
Well,
you could have had this as early as what I would consider the beginning of Act 2. Either way, it makes perfect sense in the game.
It makes sense, but there's
and the
no
payoff
variation.
Is glorious. Karlach's romance relationship route is glorious. Karlach deserves to be saved.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Well, she just keeps repeating the same 2 lines for like 20 hours in my playthrough.
Yeah, maybe help her first.
Yeah, I was trying.
Badly. Yes, you can save Karlach. Unless you do what Tifa did in her first playthrough and make it so that you cannot at all, which was really disappointing for her. And then I told her how she could. I'm not going to tell you that because look it up if you want to know. And then Tifa told me, wait, there's no such person. I'm like, yes. You skipped major characters somehow. And now she did, and because of how she played, she just stalled it for like 20 hours instead of doing it first thing. Can I put this thing down or are you gonna spoil more games?
No, it's okay.
With the energy you bring today, I think I might be extra salty and I don't want
that is you. You're just extra salty today.
Tifa, you don't get to troll and then argue when people feel trolled.
But I'm not trolling.
I would like to remind you, Tifa,
trolled.
that ironic shit posting is still shit posting.
I didn't post anything.
You're using your mouth.
See? So yeah, it's gonna be a fun Higurashi stream.
Tifa, I'm about to lead into the recap. Are you gonna be capable of doing a normal recap or are you gonna be like this? Let's
We
find
can
out.
all agree that it's Jack that's being special today, right?
Let's see how this goes. Hey Tifa, what has happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cried Chapter 7, Minagoroshi?
The last time we played Higurashi, is Tifa right? Thank you.
Hell
exactly. Yes. You're just being salty today. And there wasn't that much in dinner.
We
the last
literally had
time-
pizza for dinner.
There wasn't that
That's
much
plenty
salt
of salt. Sorry, Tifa, recap now, please.
The last time we played Higurashi, Ooishi was on his way together with Kumagai, his sidekick, on his way to Rika, who was waiting at home for him to come. On his way, he saw some flashlights and a van next to the forest that seemed super suspicious to him. So he and Kumagai got out of the car to investigate. After going into the forest, he found several so-called workers there who turned out to
so-called workers! If you do manual labor, you are not a person to Tifa.
Well, they weren't actual work. Well, they were working. They were the mountain dogs who were messing around with the communication lines. What are those things called again?
Ooishi and Kumagai drove past one of those phone booth communication things. Not a phone booth, but the thing where all the cables run through. They saw a white unmarked van, which is super weird. Ooishi decided to stop and get out. And then, finding these really strange people in overalls working there, which they didn't have a logo or anything around them, so are they really from the national telephone, whatever it is? Weird, right? So he goes to talk to them, they talk to him, tell him just please leave us alone. He keeps pressing the issue and gets shot by a sniper. Together with Kumagai, they both die right there, because they're surrounded by mountain dogs.
Unfortunately. In the meantime, Rika was still waiting for him because they had no clue what was actually going on. Several hours go by, still nothing, until the office or the police office actually calls her and goes like, hey, is Ooishi there with you? Turns out that's not the case, so his boss, I forgot what that
somebody
person's
from
name
the police precinct sends new police officers to relieve the ones that had currently protected us. That happens, everybody eventually falls asleep, the other kids go home, so it's just Rika and Satoko alone at night, when suddenly the mountain dogs attack. They break into the building, use their tasers to kill / knock out, maybe?
No, they were killed.
The police officers downstairs. Satoko and Rika do hear them break in, and they run out. They make a beeline for the forest. They keep running. Satoko defiantly, bravely faces the mountain dogs coming after her, and Rika is left with a choice. Do I run for my life, hopefully get away, and use all of this information for my next life? Or do I save Satoko because every Satoko is holy and needs to be protected? She decides to save Satoko. So they fight the mountain dog guys. When suddenly the other kids show up, Keiichi and Mion and Shion and Reina, because they never left. They kinda left, but then they saw somebody suspicious, so they went after them. And now we're all here. It's like kung fu fighting. We're all fighting off the mountain dogs. Everything is awesome. Reinforcements are coming. 6 of them get out of the cars. It's the 6 of us against the 6 of them. But they can't kill Rika. We have the advantage. We fight them. We're winning. Until Keiichi gets shot and dies. Because there wasn't 6 people in the car, there was 7. One of them is Takano shooting people.
Keiichi dying kinda was the downfall for all of them. All of them got caught. Takano has her little gloating moment while she kills off everyone one by one.
In the most disgusting ways possible.
With the exception of Rika, who gets captured and put in the van. They want to knock her out to do the ritual that Takano has explained to her.
Which Tifa isn't explaining to you right now for some reason. Takano has it in her head that she will be part of a legend of Oyashiro-sama. She wants the queen carrier, apparently inside of her. So she is going to perform Watanagashi on Rika, meaning she is going to disembowel her.
She wanted to knock her out for that, so that at least she dies unconscious.
Peacefully.
Rika wanted to stay awake for it, which Takano has granted. We have a touching moment where Rika basically says goodbye to all of her friends to Hanyu while she brutally gets murdered at the shrine by Takano's hands. And that is...
not it. As she lays there dying, she has a moment being reunited with all of her friends, which is really touching. And together they realize on their way to the afterlife, I guess, It was 6 of us against 7 of them, and we could have won if there were 7 of us. Because you didn't believe, right? Is what Reina says. And it turns out Reina is talking to Hanyu. Apparently Reina, that's how they make it seem, always knew Hanyu was there, but she couldn't talk to her, except now she can because they're all dead. So Hanyu, after a very touching conversation, eventually goes, okay, next time I will work along. I will help. I will not be a bystander anymore. And I will believe because I want all of us to be happy. You all deserve this. I deserve it. Let's make it happen. The miracle can only happen if everybody believes the miracle can happen, and that includes Hanyu. And then the credits roll, and then it's still not done, because immediately after the credits we get to read part of the instructions for the Irie clinic / the mountain dogs. Effectively confirming that there is no gas leak.
Yeah, we learn a little bit more on how their operation works and how they need to deal in certain situations. One of them is the mysterious gas leak, which is a complete military operation, basically.
Yeah, it's a sham.
Where they fake that is an actual thing, and they just kill the entire village and make it seem like that. So a pretty good cover-up.
The idea is to round up everybody who is at least L2 stage of Hinamizawa syndrome and kill them. Shoot them, burn them, it doesn't matter. Just get them together, kill them. Make sure nobody catches wind of this and just get rid of them.
That's clear. Dark Lord?
Dark Lord.
Thank you for the sub.
What she said. Love.
It was all work, a cover-up. Yep.
Yes.
Somehow we didn't even consider that.
Yeah, because that's pretty messed up. We didn't consider a lot of things.
No. Well, that is pretty high level to be able to do that to that point.
Yeah, I didn't want this to be true.
Now we still have a bit more left in the credits. Not sure for how or how much we still have.
We have no idea. So the idea for tonight is finish chapter 7 and then look at the predictions we've written down so far. There is 102 of them, if I did my math correctly.
And then go fresh into chapter 8.
Indeed. Tifa, are you ready for some Higurashis?
I am ready.
I'm not. Boom, 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 boom. Bing.
The Queen and her carriers. It is assumed that the pathogen has the same characteristics. Oh my god.
It is assumed that the pathogen has the same characteristics as creatures such as ants.
I can speak.
There's a queen of the carriers of a disease, just like... You take... Welcome in, Skinner. Thank you for lurking. You do the lines and I pretend this never happened.
Thank you, Skinner, for the lurk. Appreciate it.
We all fixed the command ages ago, but yes, I did. I realized the mistake I made and I fixed it.
There is a queen of the carriers of the disease, just like there is a queen ant, and this position has been passed down the line of the Furude family.
No, you didn't even read the first line.
You have done the first line already. We don't need to repeat everything that has already been said by someone. Dark Lord, congratulations on being second.
Imagine
we're never gonna
hating
get
the
anywhere that
audience
way.
This much.
Thank you, Psycho.
Yes?
This assumption... I thought you skipped something. This assumption is made based on the legends and ancient writings that have been passed down in the village. It is already confirmed that the carriers have a tendency to protect their queen. Additionally, the queen carrier can only survive within the boundary of the village.
Probability of outbreak. As ordinary patients will become ill when they travel far away from the queen, it's assumed that the further and longer they are away from her, the higher the chance of symptoms occurring becomes. Also, mental state plays a strong factor as well, and it's estimated that those who are especially emotionally unstable or show strong yearning for their home are more likely to exhibit symptoms. It is believed that the Takano relaxation method is the most effective means of suppressing symptoms. But if a patient still shows no improvement, only returning them to their home and the queen will be effective. Takano relaxation method sounds like something TOS.
Yeah, like a happy end massage.
Yeah.
Concerning terminal patients. Terminal patients, as they suffer from an extreme persecution complex, are incapable of functioning within society. Cases of arson and murder have been confirmed. They may present severe problems for their units.
Their units?
Records show that terminal patients appear even in Hinamizawa, and they will not recover even if relocated nearer the queen. Therefore, the decision to dispose of the problem must be made as soon as possible. It's recommended that the infected be quarantined before they start behaving irregularly. We suggested tracking down those formerly from Hinamizawa and placing them under special medical observation.
The collapse of a carrier community. For the aforementioned reasons, we predict that should the queen carrier die, infected villagers will exhibit terminal symptoms on a village-wide scale. Terminal symptoms will begin showing within 24 hours at the earliest and 48 at the latest. For that reason, the final decision must be made within 48 hours. Based on the size of the village, neither ordinary officers nor the military police may be able to control the chaos they may bring. We believe the best response is to treat them as an armed anti-national uprising and immediately suppress them with the military. January 1945. To Colonel Koizumi of the Supreme Council for the Direction of War. From Hifumi Takano.
Oh, so Hifumi is Takano. Where did we see that name again?
Wait, 1945. What's Takano's first name?
It wasn't Hifumi. Not that was introduced to us.
Hifumi T. Yeah, but what's Takano's first name? Because I don't remember it. It wasn't Hifumi, was it? Mio Takano, thank you, it's in her 30s.
So the Takano line has been in this for a while.
I'm already... It's too late now to put it in the thing for later, but I'm writing down a prediction. Takano is Takano gonna do this because her family is also part of Tokyo and she is part of one of the hardliner families? Remember how there were 5 families originally? But we only know the big 3?
Oh, you think the Takanos were one of them?
I wouldn't be shocked.
Could be.
There were 5 originally, right?
But it does seem to be a family business
Or was
right
it
now.
always just 3? Am I Mandela affecting myself? Am I thinking 5 because of a group of friends? Alright, do you agree with my thinking that Takano is so, let's say, invested in Oyashiro-sama's curse because of her family's history with Hinamizawa?
I don't think that's a good prediction. We now already know that there's more Takanos involved in it.
Fine.
So it's no longer a prediction. If you said that 5 minutes ago, it would have been. But now we know there's more Takanos involved.
June 23rd, 1983. Document E420 for the 58th Defense Commissioner. Or 420, if you're nasty. And TCOM 733 Commander. TCOM 733 is hereby ordered to be on standby within 24 hours, armed for urban suppression. The company commander must also thoroughly study Emergency Manual 34. Select personnel carefully with the preservation of secrecy in mind. Additionally, test the effectiveness of a vaccine with the support of the National Research Center of Infectious Diseases. Employ those with positive immunity. June 23rd, 1983. Document E711 for the 58th Director of the NIHS. Attention, equipment testing, Company Commander 733. The National Research Center of Infectious Diseases. Infectious Pathogen Department, Suit 15. Suit 13. Suite 13? Infectious Pathogen Department, Suite 13. Official seal omitted.
About the Hinamizawa syndrome. This is information regarding the Hinamizawa syndrome.
Really?
Shocking. The Hinamizawa syndrome is an infectious disease caused by a virus. There are no initial symptoms, instead their onset begins when the patient's emotional state becomes unstable or if the queen carrier dies. The main symptoms of the illness are hallucinations and emotional instability paired with an extreme persecution complex.
Japanese Fauci said take him out. I think every country's Fauci would have done that given these situations.
Furthermore, patients are frequently unaware of their own mental abnormalities, making an identification outside examination nearly impossible. The only way to do so is by observing symptoms indicative of terminal abnormal behavior. In many cases, patients engage in antisocial behavior, which is the largest issue created by the syndrome. This behavior is caused by hormonal factors, as this disease mainly affects the mind as opposed to the body.
The hormones do affect your body. What? What?
Yeah, but they don't notice anything.
Yeah, but hormones aren't in your mind. They are literally in your body. We can see hormones under a microscope. Oh well. Semantics.
In the end, the patients will experience extreme irritation in their lymph nodes and they will claw at their throats or wrists. Why not at their armpits?
I don't know.
So do you have a lymph node in your wrist?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
You have them in a whole bunch of places on your body.
Yeah, no, you have several, but I didn't know you had one in your wrist.
Hormones can affect the mind. Yeah, but
Jack is doing the potato thing.
what I'm saying, hormones aren't a psychological thing, they are a biological, physical thing. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not that hormones are something I think about, hormones are something that are in my body. Hormones sound like a video I was watching last night. What? I didn't know you were into biology that much, Skinner.
Do I want to ask what video that was?
Hormone is also what they call organ meat in Japan. Really? Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Thank you for explaining. Yeah, first of all, that Skinner, I am so happy that you felt what's the word I'm looking for? That you felt so comfortable with all of us here that you shared that.
But yeah, I see it. This is the only symptom that is recognized by the patient. Important points regarding the sterilization operation.
No, important points regarding the sterilization operation.
What do you mean no? This is still my thingy. It's not between brackets. This is an advisory notice for virus control. The pathogen is an airborne infectious virus. Therefore, no effective preventive methods exist and inoculation is required.
I love how Tifa decides that she wants this one and gives her all the big words.
That's fine. Joke's on you, Pickup isn't getting my idea. I'm just waiting for it to be implemented here.
Skinner, with how much I believe you are currently in desperate need of a very cold shower, I wouldn't put it past you to travel to a country where you don't need to upload ID first to consume that type of media. Big Hub sounds like a corporation that runs husbands. I like that. That's also way more innocent. I appreciate that.
That does sound like it could be a Japanese company.
Yes.
After the mission is completed, all staff members must take a medical exam and those with positive test results must come forward. Be cautious when interacting with the carriers, villagers. Even after inoculation, any contact with their bodily fluids will cause infection.
You hear that, Skinner?
Do not come into direct contact with them. If assumed infected, individuals must use the testing syringe and test themselves for the disease. If you feel an extreme irritation in your lymph nodes, it's likely you have terminal symptoms. In that case, you must get tested immediately. If test results come out positive, inject the treatment medication C120. If the irritation persists after 10 minutes, use a second injection. If there is still no change in symptoms, seek treatment at HQ.
Why do I think seek treatment at HQ is a euphemism for shoot yourself in the head? Always use protection, indeed. If I'm going to travel to another country for that, I might as well be out in the streets. I mean, priorities, right?
Do not use C120 if your test results are not positive. If used on a healthy body, symptoms of high fever, rashes, dilated pupils, and hallucination will be observable within 10 minutes. If your pupils are diluted, Tifa, you have an issue because it means I said dilated.
I wish you did.
Well, no, I did. If this occurs, one must seek treatment at HQ. You know, you're really taking me out of it today.
So.
Government officials explained the entire situation in a luxurious meeting room adorned with a marble table and crystal ashtrays.
That's a new scene, by the way.
Yeah, it is. We're out of the book. The chief cabinet secretary was in a panic. He'd never heard about any of this before. Feelings of panic were only natural. One girl's death was going to drive 2,000 villagers into a frenzy. Hearing that a disease like that exists was surprising enough. But on top of that, it was secretly researched for military use, and now there was a horrific situation caused by the director of the local research institute engaging in embezzlement.
I've never heard of such a dangerous disease. There's no cure for it.
No. According to the National Research Center, they have recently found a method of treatment for the carriers of the disease, but they're still not capable of administering that treatment to the whole village. The entire populace is going to develop terminal symptoms within the next 24 to 48 hours. It's going to be a disaster. The danger of this Hinamizawa syndrome was explained over and over again to the chief secretary. He didn't have anything more to say. But that didn't mean that he could blindly accept it either. He simply couldn't believe that the only way to resolve the situation was to kill all 2,000 infected villagers.
I understand the urgency, but I can't give approval to kill an entire village. Why was this disease being studied in secret anyway? Isn't this the responsibility of those who were funding the research? Such a dangerous disease can't possibly be of any benefit for this country. It's the year 1983, for crying out loud. According to these documents, they intentionally hold off on exterminating the disease so they'd have more time to study it. On top of that, this chaos was all caused by a single researcher. This is an act of terrorism. It's the fault of those old men in Tokyo. They better take responsibility for this. Get rid of the people who are still haunted by the ghost of a war. This is a good opportunity to rid Tokyo of its festering pus.
You can be the Prime Minister.
Where's my stately voice? No one can ever know. Indeed. We will discuss the issue of responsibility in due time, but we must make a prompt decision about this.
A man standing by the window slowly turned around and opened his mouth. Prime Minister, please give us your decision.
What happens if I don't approve this final resolution?
Well, almost 100% of the population in the village will develop terminal symptoms within 36 hours. They will be overcome by persecution complexes and they will begin behaving violently. Suicide, murder, arson, robbery and rape are some of the things we predict will happen. There will be no peace within the village. It probably won't stay within those boundaries either, but spread throughout the area. As a result, the whole world will discover this disaster. Sooner or later, they will find out about this mysterious disease. This will be a great advantage for the opposition during the next election. Tokyo will also voice their criticisms of the Prime Minister. You need their approval in order to make your political plans come to fruition. More than anything, the government might reveal that this secret research was conducted for military purposes. If this happens, the country will have a crisis of faith in their leadership.
What if I approve of final resolution?
Well, we will be disguising this as a natural disaster, so the opposition may still attack us for our blunder. However, they will not discover the existence of this mysterious disease. If by chance the world were to discover our military research of the disease, our nation would completely lose its initiative in the Asian region. Support from those nations is a necessity for us. If we lose their trust...
That's me, by the way.
Oh.
The support from those nations is a necessity for us. If we lose their trust, their position will definitely come into power after the next election. Japan will be finished.
Not killing these people is bad PR.
Yeah.
There's not really a good choice here, honestly. Like, you can't leave it.
If you kill them, you kill 2,000 people. If you don't cull them, then you will have more people dead.
Yeah.
I don't like either option, and I don't think I could sleep ever again after this night if I was him, but I think my choice would be to contain this.
Me when I play Mad Max in front of my kid.
This would be Prime Minister Nakasone Yasuhiro, who was pretty pro-American and privatized the phone and railways. Many consider him the Reagan of Japan. Ew.
Did you say this was you?
No. I'm the government secretary.
Support to our simulations, the balance of our power will shift drastically if the second and third parties form a coalition government. The whole world will hold us responsible. The United Nations will accuse us of developing WMDs. Neighboring countries' governments will lead smear campaigns against us, drawing a hard line of anti-Japan diplomatic policies with high approval ratings. In every way possible, the government of this country will be burned to the ground.
So we'll lose the trust of all our allies, huh? Shit. So this isn't just a problem of the several 100,000 people who live around the Hinamizawa area, is it? But it's way too difficult to cover up 2,000 casualties.
Good thing we have this handbook here.
We've planned for this.
The most important thing is to prevent the public from knowing that this country was secretly researching biological weapons.
I guess we'll be wiping the ass of a ghost of a war. Are you sure this operation can be performed secretly? If this mission goes public, this will become a greater scandal than the research itself.
Yes, it will be kept secret. Therefore, there are special units working on this case. They are trained specifically for situations like this. You have nothing to worry about.
I've never heard of any mission like this, but it's basically mass murder via gas, correct? I had no idea there were units specifically trained for that.
In order to know how to protect themselves from a gas attack, they must know what gas warfare is about.
It's actually super easy, barely an inconvenience. Unfortunately, yes. This came out in 2005, well into the weapons of mass destruction check in Iraq. Yeah, I remember how that worked. Like, on one hand, do I think Saddam Hussein was not a good person? Yes. Do I appreciate the American government lying out of its ass to achieve whatever it was they were trying to achieve? Also hard, yes.
Wow.
Like 100 hours in Mad Max and I finally beat chapter 2 yesterday. How many chapters are there?
What type of a game is Mad Max? I thought it was a fighting game.
Isn't every game a fighting game? If you think about it,
Not
in a visual
Higurashi.
novel we are fighting against the pronunciation of words.
I mean, that is
And
true.
remembering the voices we gave to character.
You have a good point. That works, that works.
Japan used to have a whole poison gas island, but since they shut it down it's now mysteriously Bunny Island since the rabbits they used for testing flourished everywhere. That's really sad, but I like bunnies, so...
Isn't that one of their tourist islands now?
I think it is.
I know they have islands dedicated to... Like they have the Deer Island, Bunny Island. I think they also have a cat one.
Are they dedicated or did it just happen like this?
Probably just happened.
Imagine playing Pokemon Go when there's only Weezings there.
Community Day.
Oh no. It's really adorable now, yeah. Forget about all the horrible shit we did in the last, I don't know, 80 years. Look, bunnies!
If every country thinks like that though, they'll never move forward.
That's true.
In order to know how to fight against an enemy using gas, they must also know how to kill with it. The Equipment Research Unit is prepared for any kind of attack. He let out a small sigh. He couldn't see the line between ethical and unethical. Can any research be justified by the excuse of preparing against hostilities? But that's also what preparation was all about. Some evils must be accepted as necessary. The Irie Institute was one such evil.
So we have to make a secret decision in order to keep this research... I think we should take a break in a moment. So we have to make a secret decision in order to keep this research undisclosed. Proving this is going to make us guilty. Are you sure that information will not leak from the members of this unit?
That will not happen.
We will kill them after their mission is done.
The members were carefully selected from a group of extremely loyal men. We've never performed an operation such as this, but they are highly experienced and they will not leak any information whatsoever.
They are an assassination unit, huh?
Prime Minister, please give us the approval to administer Emergency Manual 34. Oh, it's not even from the Mountain Dogs, is it?
No.
That's a government manual.
Yeah?
I thought it was from the Mountain Dogs operation.
No, it's bigger than that. Director General of Defense, are you sure this operation will succeed? Are you sure we can stop this from going public? No. Can you keep casualties to a minimum?
Yes, sir. The preliminary orders have been sent out and preparations are complete. Thank you for the lurk, Ranger.
Thank you.
We will execute the mission as soon as we get your approval.
I can't give the approval to slaughter 2,000 innocent people. However, as Prime Minister, I have an obligation to minimize the number of casualties.
Prime Minister, I understand your dilemma.
I know they're all this beigeish yellow, but... Prime Minister, I understand your dilemma. Director General, please make a concerted effort to minimize the number of victims. If these 2,000 people can't be treated, please do what's best to prevent additional victims.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your approval. We'll return with positive results.
I hope you return with negative results. That's if you can call 2,000 casualties a positive result. Okuno-kun, please set up a meeting with Tokyo as soon as possible. I have to hear an explanation directly from them. Understood. By the way, did they arrest that Irie, the Institute director? No, he committed suicide by taking poison. He was in such a rage that his research was being shut down that he felt as if his life itself was being denied. So no one will ever really know what made him commit such a horrific crime.
The execution of Emergency Manual 34 is approved. June 23rd, 1983. Prime Minister, Director General of the Defense Agency. Why didn't they just make up names for them?
Because that's illegal. How about we take a short break here before we go into the let's kill a whole village part?
BRB.
BRB.
We're back.
We are. For logistical reasons, you may not bring any large items with you. Tifa wouldn't be allowed to go then because she couldn't take me along.
But you're not an item.
That's the sweetest thing you've said all day.
I know, right?
You cannot carry any luggage. I repeat, you cannot carry any luggage. You may carry only valuable items such as bank books and cash. Please do not use your own vehicle to evacuate. It will cause confusion.
It was the middle of the night, and yet countless villagers were out and about. Some of them were locking their doors, some of them were watering their plants, and some of them were piling up food in their dogs' dinner bowls.
Watering their plants?
Well, yeah, you don't want them to die, so you give them extra water.
Of course, evacuation orders. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Small children were crying in fear. Members of the town council were yelling angrily while counting up the villagers.
Ready for the second emotional nuke? Welcome in, Yaya.
I don't think I am. How are you doing?
Are they gonna make us sit through the destruction of 2,000 villagers? They are, right? They're gonna make us watch.
What do you think is happening right now?
They could fade to black at some point.
Yeah, after they're all dead.
This theme too, it's over.
We're probably gonna have a sad moment too of the parents or guardians of the Scooby Gang looking for them.
Yeah. I have something in my mind, but it would be topical to mention right now. I have a stupid gut feeling that saying it later will be even more topical, so I will wait.
Reportedly, the village had been cut off from the rest of the world after volcanic gas gushed out of the mountains.
I hate it when my mountains fall.
The number of policemen and military units in the village, adding to the strong smell of sulfur in the air, dispelled any doubts the villagers might have had.
I'll let it slide, but adding to the strong sulfur gives the impression that the police and military units stink.
Is this what it says?
No, you said adding, not added.
It's the same thing. The more religious among the elderly were convinced that this was the curse of Rika Furude, who had passed away the day before.
Arguably not untrue.
Oh, so they found her body at least.
Yeah.
They were certain that Oyashiro-sama was enraged and that the door to hell had been opened. Soldiers wearing gas masks guided the villagers to the evacuation center.
Why do you all have guns?
These are to protect your homes after the evacuation. We're expecting looters.
No one in Hinamizawa would do something like that.
This is 1st platoon. Evacuation is on schedule. Roger that. We'll send our platoon over. Excuse me, I need to bring along my grandfather's mortuary tablet. You may take that with you. Please hurry up. Make sure everyone in the village is here. Please come forward if you're unable to walk. A soldier will come and help you.
Oh, Oyashiro-sama is angry because Rika-chama was murdered. Oyashiro-sama, Oyashiro-sama, please forgive our sins.
Yes, it's a never seen you. I can't do all of them.
Remember our emergency drills? Group leaders have to contact the town council member when everyone in their group has shown up.
Miasma is coming out of the swamp. Oyashiro-sama must be furious.
There are too many of us here. We'll never make it out alive. Let me die in this village. Don't worry.
About that.
The helicopters and buses are on their way to transport everyone to safety. You're all going to make it out okay.
Would helicopters actually make sense when there has been a gas leak like this?
Why wouldn't it?
Because they disperse the air?
It's moving anyway.
I mean, the air should be safe enough to breathe anyway, because, I mean...
It's not gonna make it move with 100 kilometers an hour over the village.
If you think about it, you can tell that this doesn't really make sense. They are wearing gas masks, but they don't give any to the villagers.
It's part of their operation.
Why don't they use a giant fan to blow the gas away? Yeah, I know, right? Are they stupid? Look at Japan being so unprepared for something like this. Everyone gather at the forestry service. No, not the people from District 4. You're supposed to go to the community center behind the post office.
It's exactly the same as in the emergency drills. Please calm down and head to your evacuation point. Please move as a group. Every person matters. Everyone needs to stick together. You will get home safely. The villagers couldn't see the expressions under the soldiers' gas masks. They wondered what kind of expressions they were hiding under there. The soldiers were, of course, lying to the villagers, knowing that they would never return to their homes again. One such trooper cried under his mask. but the villagers never saw his tears.
I hate it when somebody puts onions in my gas mask. Please go back. You can't take your own vehicle to evacuate. The road ahead is cut off by a gas stream, so it's dangerous. Can't you smell the sulfur?
Some people try to leave in their cars so as to take large items with them. However, the quarantine unit had sealed off all roads leading outside. The gas masks of the troopers and the smell of the sulfur persuaded them to return and obey their instructions.
At least they don't have fun. I wouldn't put it past them that at least one of them does. An Okonogi type. Or like a Takano kind of person. Somebody who really gets off on the pain of others.
Some of them tried to contact Okonomiya, but their phones would not connect. The lines were busy no matter how much they tried. They simply assumed that the phone lines were overwhelmed because of the disaster. Some of the villagers had access to radios. They tried to figure out what the situation was like outside, but all they could hear over the radio was loud static. It was the same as the television. They couldn't contact anyone outside of the village, so they really were totally isolated. And so, they had nothing to rely on but the instructions of the police and the military. They were all like moths heading towards the light, never doubting that they would be safe there. One old war veteran listened to the noise from the radio and muttered,
"This is exactly what it sounded like when the Americans jammed the radio waves during the war."
As it turned out, he was absolutely correct. However, he turned off the radio when his son urged him to evacuate. The villagers had all gathered at their evacuation points. Some of them were at the school, some at the community center. They were to stay in the building until the evacuation vehicle arrived. The soldiers told them to stay inside so they could keep track of the numbers of evacuees.
Also easier to gas from there. Please close all of the windows to prevent the gas from entering. We'll be sealing the windows to be on the safe side. Your cooperation would be appreciated.
Alright, let's help them out! People started to seal up all the windows and vents with the duct tape that was handed to them, even letting them dig their own grave. They completely sealed every opening, even as they heard the disquieting conversation of the soldiers. It was long past 3 a.m., but everyone was wide awake with fear. They were having an extremely long night. Coincidentally, the end of their night had almost arrived.
This is all Oyashiro-sama's curse! Rika-chama! Rika-chama! Oyashiro-sama! Oyashiro-sama! That's another senior. Otherwise there wouldn't be... Because there's a quotation mark. That always signifies the end.
Oyashiro-sama demoned away those kids at the Furude Shrine in his fury.
The Furude Shrine was swallowed by the world of the demons that day. The demons chewed up her guts while she was still alive.
They all started saying that the gas disaster was caused by the curse of Oyashiro-sama, and Rika's death and the mysterious disappearance of her friends and the two detectives were also the result of the curse. People started talking about being demoned away. They had no idea that Keiichi and his friends short-battled sealed their fate for that night. The more religious villagers had become convinced that the children and the detectives went missing, because they volunteered to become a sacrifice to calm Oyashiro-sama's anger after Rika's death.
Yes, they all put on a white gown, and they all promised that they were virgins, and then they jumped into the top of a volcano.
No, the swamp.
Same thing.
They didn't know the truth. They couldn't know. Not one realized that Keiichi and his friends' efforts had all been in vain. Indeed. In Hinamizawa, everything that happens is the will of Oyashiro-sama. But why did it have to be that way? Before the series of mysterious deaths occurred, no one really used the term the curse of Oyashiro-sama that frequently. In other words, who set them up? People in this village were set up to believe that the curse of Oyashiro-sama happens every year. They really are just too superstitious.
Major, we finished gathering the villagers together. The last family finally reached their assembly point. We got everyone.
Good. This is finally it. The curse of Oyashiro-sama will become a reality tonight. For enacting Watanagashi on Rika Furude, Oyashiro-sama is punishing this village.
But you did that!
The curse of the last 5 years are culminating in the biggest curse of them all. This is not just a mysterious chain of murders. This is divine punishment from an enraged god. Let's begin. But we still don't know who killed the others. Was it them?
This is the company commander. The men are requesting 1 minute of silence. Can you let them have that, Major?
Do as you like. Takano gave him a disparaging laugh. The company commander closed his heart and began to speak. Or crossed his heart and began to speak.
Dear Heavenly Father, please guide these innocent people. The sacrifice will save the lives of many others to come. Please forgive us for committing this sin. Please forgive us for being here today.
The company commander isn't Christian. In fact, he doesn't follow any religion. However, he prayed because he felt the need to ask someone for forgiveness. He wasn't even sure if he was saying it correctly, but he still prayed to God. He asked forgiveness for committing his sin and continued to pray.
This theme too, I was in such disbelief at this point of the story.
I mean, it makes sense even if you don't believe at a point like this.
The moment your plane goes into turbulence, even the atheists usually start praying. Not true for everybody, of course, but just saying. Just saying.
You want to hold on to something at that point.
Yeah.
Takano was speaking in a soft voice. She was talking to herself. For ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the goodman of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up.
That's from Hifumi Takano's book.
Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh. One man heard her murmurs.
That's from the Gospel of Matthew.
Is it? My grandfather always said that to me. He was telling me to work hard every day because you'll never know when you will be rewarded.
Is this a reward for you? You sick fuck!
Yes. Although you might never understand it.
This is the moment where you should realize something weird is happening. This isn't just, oh, I'm getting paid to do military stuff that I'm really good at. This is weird.
Nah, that's just her being fucked up.
Excuse my rudeness, but I believe that the descent of God is a merciful thing. I think what you're saying is inappropriate for a time like this.
He was trying to tell her that using that verse of the Bible was inappropriate for the occasion. However, Takano simply laughed as though she had heard something very funny. I'm sorry, but you have no right to judge. Tonight is the night where I become a god.
This is the moment where you put a bullet between her eyes. The moment of silence has ended.
And with the end of the silence,
execute the operation now.
The order was given in as hollow and reluctant a manner as an order can possibly be. Now my ideals are complete. This is a literal utopia. Here I am, a god, and the curse engraved here will be passed on forever. People were packed into the classroom. They were afraid. The troopers closed the door of the classroom. The people inside had no idea why they were doing that. However, they didn't suspect anything at all. One old man walked up to the door to open it. Because with it closed, it was far too hot inside the room. But he collapsed all of a sudden. His wife tried to walk over to help him up, but she also collapsed all of a sudden. Then, other people also started collapsing inside the room. It It really was a very odd sight. What would make for a good example? It would be pretty amusing if they were dominoes.
I was thinking of dominoes when I thought, no, you don't fucking say that, because that is so disrespectful.
However, they're human beings. People sitting by the window watched this strange event happen before their eyes. They opened those eyes wider to try to understand what was going on. A god has reawakened from a long slumber thanks to the damn war, who curses non-believers on the sacred night of Watanagashi. Year after year that god reawakened, the mighty Oyashiro-sama awakened, and so they regressed to their primitive fear of the curse. Suddenly this thing is much slower than it was before. The door creaked open slightly and someone on the other side threw 3 spray canisters into the room. More people started to collapse, even those at the window. This wasn't something that was happening only in one room. It was happening in all the other ones as well. It was happening in all the evacuation centers. People's dreams, their hopes, their futures. They were taken away so quickly and easily. And nobody doubts the curse of Oyashiro-sama, perfectly revived from within the belly of its corpse, now resurrected into this world. When you incur Oyashiro-sama's wrath, the cauldron of hell bursts open, overflowing, and those who flee will breathe their last breath. With that final judgment, the curse is finally realized. There was a commotion in the reception room by the principal's office. Someone had figured out what was going on, broke the seal of the window and escaped outside. Other people tried to remove the seal on their windows too, but they collapsed in a matter of seconds. What will be left behind when you die? The body will rot down to the bone and be crushed into sand. What more can you leave behind beyond fertilizer for the earth?
Someone escaped from the reception room. 4 people are loose.
You have permission to fire. Shoot, shoot, shoot! The soldier shot the people who tried to escape in the back. The sound of the gunshots echoed in the silence. It was a noise filled with cruelty. They helplessly fell down to the ground. Their deaths were so pitiful compared to the silent deaths of those before them. The residential police officer was one of the escapees. He tried to shoot back at them with his own gun. His shots could be heard throughout the building. The soldiers ducked into the shadows upon hearing the noise. The officer seized his chance and ran towards the gate, but that was just a waste of time.
I think the X-Lock emote would be too me. Yeah, I get it, bro. Rangers have redeemed Hydrate. No, you didn't.
Regardless, cheers.
I believe Ranger is doing this because earlier today Ranger was streaming a few rounds of Elden Ring Night Rain together with Skinner. And Ranger taught me near the beginning of us streaming that cooldowns and limits on redeems are very important, because every now and then somebody, through happenstance or on purpose, will come in and use them, your commands and your redeems. Arguably, I am to blame for Ranger and Skinner losing their first round of Night Rain, because every single time it was possible I made Ranger drink water. So before the final fight, he had to go pee really quickly. So he went, and then one of their teammates, the third person we were playing with, some random person, I don't know their name, made a mistake which you could argue lost them that whole round. So in a way, I am the Elden Ring, or the Elden Lord or whatever, because I foiled his plans. You cannot make me drink Ranger. That's one of the reasons why we don't have a redeem like this. Also, I'm now gonna say a thing I was thinking of saying earlier.
If this scene hurts you, I don't think recommend is the right word, but if you ever get the chance, go to one of the former concentration camps that they're basically museums now, after we got rid of the Nazis back then. Because I have had to go to one of them with school. And it's one of a few days of my life where I think I remember basically every single moment of it. From the time we got there. The time, I mean, first we took a train to get there, which was like, you know, you just take a train to go somewhere, you take a bus, and then you get there, and then you go in. But that left an impact on me. This
It's quite impressive.
This clinical, macabre way of looking at numbers. Like, okay, we want to kill an extreme amount of people, we will need to do this as efficiently as possible. How can we do this? Can we just shoot them? No, that will take too long. So let's gas them. Let's get them all into small rooms. Don't tell them what this is about, because panic causes outrage and then they fight back. Just put them into small rooms, drop a thing in there, and then after 30 minutes or so, just scoop them out and get the next ones in.
It's just a big butcher house.
And that is just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, basically. The gas chambers were the tip of the iceberg. Especially, I don't know how that worked in Japan, but the Nazis, you could tell, I think, that a lot of them enjoyed this too much. Because on top of this, they also created / invented additional ways to sometimes just randomly kill people.
It's usually what is done with the enemy of war. They're not really considered humans to a lot.
The worst of humanity has come out in those days. So this has happened in history. It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
Well, at least here they don't enjoy it.
That's true.
Here it's a necessity to save everyone.
Yeah, here it isn't the...
Slightly different situations, but I see where you're...
Yeah, well, the methods are very similar, but the reasons behind them are very different. Here it isn't the sick delusions of an insane person, and, a whole bunch of insane people making something happen on an industrial scale. Here it's a... we have to contain this. I mean, Takano is messed up. It seems like the people she's working with aren't necessarily, at least not the people exactly around her. Like the other guy, the mountain dog.
This is a government group.
Dude. Yeah, but you have
It's not
Tokyo.
the mountain dogs.
Yeah, but you have Tokyo, and clearly Tokyo plays a part in this because they set all of this up. So there is some messed up stuff in their heads. But it seems like the soldiers on the ground executing this, they're humans too. They're like, forgive me.
Well, it's mainly Takano who's fucked up. The rest so far seems just professional, not caring.
Well, we know about Takano's grandfather. What about her parents? This could be a family business. They could be part of Tokyo.
Question is, what the fuck's Takano on about?
I think... that's a good question.
It really depends on what her final goal is, and we still don't really know that, because I doubt she took the Queen Carrier herself.
She did, 100%.
Yeah, but if she did, this wouldn't have been necessary. And she would also be killed. So she must have taken that in secret, if anything. Like, we still don't know what Takano's aim is.
I think there's two likely scenarios. I'm not going to commit to either one yet. One is revenge. Her grandfather knew about this. He was part of it, I guess. I assume it somehow destroyed part of her family at least, because, you know, once you have it, you can never leave. So that's not great. The other could be just a sick obsession. Like somebody, through the luck of birth,
gets into a situation where they learn about this cult-like behavior, and when they learn that there is actually a scientific basis to all of this, so you could become God if you wanted. You just need to eat the intestines of a little girl. And then there's the family history. Her grandfather was involved with this at some point. So I want to become Oyashiro-sama. I want to be God. I want the children of your children to open a history book and read about me. I want to be that. I want to be legend. I want to be legacy.
If she didn't interfere, the research would have found a cure. But that's not necessarily her interfering, because Tokyo had already made their decision to stop.
Did Tokyo do that? There was nobody from Tokyo there except Tomitake and Takano. Takano was the local liaison, and Tomitake went on the trips 4 times.
Yeah, but Tomitake didn't get his orders from Takano.
No, but what if Takano tampered with the data that Tomitake took back to Tokyo? She was in a position to do so.
Not 100% convinced.
Me neither, we don't know yet, but I'm saying if you want to cause this to happen, Takano was in a prime position to make all of this happen as well.
That's true. But I think we'll still learn more about Takano.
We still have chapter 8.
Not only is the range of the automatic weapons that they were using longer than the length of the schoolyard, but as trained professionals it would be nothing for them to shoot him from the distance. The villagers had no choice. Either they'd die from gas without realizing what was happening, or they'd find out about the mission and be killed.
What happened? Did they fight back? Respond!
We've shot all the fugitives. One of the residential policemen shot back.
Collect those bodies. Do not put them with the other corpses.
The soldiers walked over to the 4 fallen bodies. They needed to make sure that they were all dead, not just injured.
Here comes the double tap.
I will remain. A name, a great undertaking, a curse left behind. My presence will be forever defied in this land. And those who escape today's curse will be in awe of it. They'll pass that fear on to others. The memories of those herds of people will supplement me and I will transcend. Will supplement into me and I will transcend.
Transcend.
Transcend. So I'm guessing Takano
wants to become a god.
Well,
she wants to be legend.
She has said that, but still, why?
This is the first platoon. The first service building has been sterilized. 4 escaped, we took them down.
This is the second platoon. Sterilization complete. No one escaped.
This is the 3rd platoon. More than 10 escaped. We're conducting a sweep. It will be over soon.
This is the 4th platoon. Sterilization complete. No one escaped.
This is the 3rd platoon. We've taken out all 13 fugitives. Sterilization is now complete. Roger. Start counting the bodies. Make sure the total matches the original number taken earlier tonight.
Takano was laughing to herself inside of the van. She didn't physically see all those people dying silently, but she wished she could have. But she saw it anyway. She saw countless people dying without even noticing it. She saw it all in her mind. Takano waved her arms in the air. No one was watching her, but no one would understand what she was doing even if they were. Oh, now we know it's a skull on her head and not a lobster.
Same thing.
She was waving her baton. Takano was pretending that she was the conductor of this silent funeral march.
Major, the sterilization is complete. We are going to reconnect the phone lines.
Sure, go ahead.
This is the Institute Concealment Unit. We've removed all the classified items and welded the entrance shut. We are currently flooding the underground facility.
This is the Traffic Blockade Unit. Everything's proceeding as scheduled.
This is the Communication Sabotage Unit. We've reconnected the phone lines. The telephone facility is back to normal.
Takano was paying no attention to those reports. She continued to sing the melody of an orchestra. One operator spoke to her.
You seem to be in a good mood.
Yes, it feels so good. I bet you can't hear it. This hymn that glorifies God.
Him.
Takano laughed loudly, spreading her arms wide. That's right, the hymn. A new god has descended to this village. There was no god in Hinamizawa. Oyashiro-sama was just a name. This was an old backwater village with no real god. But I brought a god to this place. Do you understand what that means? I bet you don't. How many gods in this world have the power to curse people? How many of them can challenge people? None of them. But I did it. Takano laughed as if she was the only one who could comprehend what she was saying.
She is.
None of the operators inside the car could comprehend her laughter.
At what point do you apprehend her because she's clearly not fit for her job anymore?
Takano was satisfied to know that. A god is not a god without a curse. Gods are feared because of their curses and they're worshipped because they're feared. That's the truth about gods. If faith alone is what creates a god, there's no need for curses. But the ancient gods all cursed humans. Then what is a god's curse? It's the proof that a god is real. Gods aren't gods if they don't curse people. I found evidence of the existence of God in this poor village. I thought this was a message from heaven. Hinamizawa was without a god for 100 years until the end of the dam conflict. I believe it's been my mission to restore the god's existence in this village. Heaven supported me and granted me power. I have raised the bud of a cursed plant with the faint seeds of coincidence granted to me by heaven. And now this budding curse bears fruit and hangs ripe. Do you understand? Tonight is the night of the harvest. This is the final curse of Oyashiro-sama. And from this day forth, Oyashiro-sama will be a real god. You may not see it now, but someday you will understand. You will see how grand this plan I accomplished was, how long it will be told in history, and how great I will become. God's curse. I make that curse happen. I am the curse of Oyashiro-sama, who worship me and be fearful. I'm creating not only death, I'm writing history. History will speak of this curse and remember my existence forever. I'm the curse itself. I've transcended this flesh. My legend will endure forever beyond my mortal life. My existence is eternal now. Curse yourselves and curse your powerlessness. Realize how great I am. I am Oyashiro-sama. I'm a god now. My flesh may die eventually, but I'll remain in this world forever. I am Oyashiro-sama. This is the curse of Oyashiro-sama. They'll worship, idolize, and fear me. When I move, they'll beg for no curse, no death. My work will be historic. My existence and the history of this curse will be told for ages. I've transcended beyond my body of flesh, becoming the curse. Even if this body decays, my work will remain in history forever. Now I've gained immortality. Humans, flesh is your curse. When your body decays, you can't leave anything behind. Your malice, regrets, fear, and you'll know my greatness. I have become Oyashiro-sama. Now I've reached the realm of the gods. Even if my body is destroyed, what I've done here will be passed down forever. I've achieved eternal life.
So I think that answers the question, why is Takano doing this? Because she's insane. She was giving us all the speech that the Pope in your favorite JRPG does just before he turns into phase 2, where he turns into the devil monster, and then you kill him and then the credits roll where you saved the world.
Oh, we still get a tip. Kill Takano is still very much fitting.
Yeah. The scenario jump mode has been unlocked. This game features a scenario jump mode. You may replay any scenario you've completed from the start menu. The tips reading room has been unlocked. You can now read the tips you've obtained so far. To view them, select extra on the title menu, then pick the read all tips option.
Nobody cares about that.
I do. The staff room has been unlocked. This is a thank you message for purchasing the game. To go there, select extra on the title menu, then pick the staff room option.
Nobody cares.
I care. Am I not a person to you, Tifa? More post-game stuff? Or just main menu? Main menu. Alright.
Let's do the tip.
Let's do that tip, shall we? View tips. I still find it weird that they capitalize tips like this. This fragment's end. I guess Rika finally managed to assemble all the pieces to her puzzle. But we don't know yet if her memories will pass on to her next life. Rika always loses the memory of her death. I don't know if she can retain the memories of what she's discovered. What did you think? Did you have fun? Once you find out the answers, collecting them isn't so fun anymore. You don't agree?
And thus she got away with everything unpunished and everyone fucking died.
Thank you, Ryukishi. Very cool.
I mean, she got away with it probably 100 times now and lived her happy god life in all of them.
I've actually thought about this yesterday night when I couldn't fall asleep. Rika had this moment where she was having like a breakdown, panic attack kind of thing, thinking about all the lives she's left behind, and all of her friends having to live without her. Assuming that this happens every single time, they all die. Every single time. Literally.
Basically.
Potentially, maybe one or two of them get away. Unlikely, given the whole order to execute everybody from Hinamizawa, or the curse breaking out and then them just killing themselves at some point soon. So I think it would be kind of... I don't know. I like the idea that hopefully Chapter 8 will end with a happy end. And that, in that sense, Rika throwing her previous lives away sometimes, in a sense, because she didn't get on stage, she was just a bystander, by her own words. It might have changed things, but it's not like her friends lived long happy lives or lived long sad lives without her.
Yeah, because she failed. It's still not what we want to achieve. Would have been nice if they continued living as a high portal. How are you doing? Not exactly to which point, because he kept talking.
I'm not sure. I kind of like the... I don't know if this makes sense, but I kind of like the idea that every single time all of them die, so that maybe in Chapter 8 all of them can access those memories from a previous life, or all their previous lives.
They didn't need to all die for that. And
then they together have a Watanagashi in the old sense one final time, because now the village knows who to gut in front of everybody.
Well,
not be Takano. I don't like that either, but she does deserve it, doesn't she?
I'm hoping for a happy end in 8.
I would like that.
There's a theory that Takano got her way in every chapter except in 2 and 5. I haven't seen if you guys checked the 2 options for the Chapter 5 ending, but in the bad ending we can see past the period where Takano usually wipes the village.
Yes, we did. But
which one was 5 again?
5 was, I believe, the one where Keiichi
Goes to
and
the
Mion
mental-
go on a date. In 2, I think she still gets away with it, because in 2, Keiichi is alone at the hospital, and when he sees the Mion zombie, which in hindsight now to me implies that he went level 5 and went terminal, because he got delusional. So the zombie, I would assume, kills him, but it's really just himself scratching himself to death. Chapter 5, I believe, was the one where Mion and him went on a date.
But that was
After
an
all of this was
alternative ending that was added later.
Yes, and then Mion goes to the bathroom or something and comes back and finds Keiichi dead. Which to me now screams Mountain Dogs. I mean, the story cuts off when she finds Keiichi dead, but I would now assume that she is the next victim. The next target.
Miyakishi, Rika's corpse is discovered more than 48 hours after her death, so the village is not destroyed. That's why in the Watanagashi we have the final scene with Keiichi in the hospital.
I would argue... yeah, I see what you mean. I would, at this point, argue that most likely the plan would be executed differently. Maybe the Prime Minister didn't give us okay in that world, but I would still think that Takano and her mountain dogs do take them out one by one if necessary. You know? Thank you, Shion, for fucking killing everyone before Takano does.
Well,
that's also a way of looking at it, yeah?
But I think it's safe to assume that in the majority of her 100 lives, Takano does win.
So, canonically...
Unfortunately.
Sorry. So canonically, even if Rika dies, nothing will happen to a village. 2,000 people were sacrificed for a wrong theory. I'm not sure about that.
It doesn't mean it happens immediately. It has already been mentioned that it can take a long time for it to happen. So it doesn't mean they won't all go nuts eventually, and they just use it as an experiment. Just to see what happens.
Yeah. Like, I get your point. We've argued about this before, whether we want everything in a story like this to be explained and spelled out to us, or if we want something to be left open to interpretation. This is one of those moments. We didn't see it happen, so you could argue that it doesn't happen. Perfectly fine. I would argue that given the whole machinery behind Tokyo and what they do, there's no chance that any of them survived for very long. Because even if they didn't do it the way we now saw, with this like just gas everybody and shoot for strugglers, they would just take them out one by one to get rid of the trail, somehow. You know, they all have weird freak accidents, something like that, I don't know. But I could see either happen, yeah. Back to mysterious voices in the void. I see. You still might find something different by examining some old fragments. After all, the time we have here is endless. We have to find something to play with because there's nothing to do here. For me, playing with these fragments stops being fun when I find out what's inside. But if you can tell me how to have fun with them even so, that makes you pretty smart. What? You want to know what I play with? I don't play, I'm just killing time. I like to imagine what Rika could have done in order to achieve the future she hopes for. I like to imagine a world that would have been happy for all of them. You found out how these worlds are set up by looking at the previous ones, right? I like to analyze what would need to change in order for Rika to win against Takano. You want to see what's on my mind? Too bad. I'm not showing that to you. In that world, Rika and her friends survived their struggle and broke through the fate of June 1983. It's just my imagination, it's not for me to share with you. I'm sure the world that Rika is about to create is better than anything in my imagination. Even if she's stuck on June 19th in 1983, I'm sure this now-ended world will remain one of Rika's brightest fragments either way. No matter how much she struggles, if she actually overcomes her fate, it will be the most brilliant fragment of her story. I'm sure the life Rika lives makes for a better story than my boring imagination.
Well, she better lives a happy life in chapter 8.
I hope so.
The killing everyone for nothing is such a cruel twist fitting for Higurashi. It makes me think it's canon.
Yeah. It's kind of Game of Thronesian, where it's realistic. You know, bad things happen. And
That is true.
sometimes there's just no explaining it. Bad shit just happens.
Especially with Takano.
Yeah, and
It's just part of a game.
there are really crazy people out there. You want to know what happened to Rika? She made a decision to redo her life once again with Hanyu. She's trying to live her life with all her might. That's what she learned from this world. Her next life has already begun. I do wonder what that life is like. I'm going there now to check. Do you want to come with me? I feel like this would have been a great intro for Chapter 8. Just saying.
A little bit.
Now let's talk about everybody's favorite person who did all of this to us. Hi, this is Ryokishio7. Thank you for playing Higurashi When They Cry Kai Chapter 7, Minagoroshi. This time around, this scenario was almost like the answer page in a book of riddles. Or maybe the scenario was like a side dish we enjoyed alongside all the scenarios up until now. You can take it how you like. I just hope you enjoyed it. I was very nervous about releasing this scenario because a mystery is only good when it's still a mystery. This scenario marks the end of that mystery. To be honest, I didn't want to release this chapter for a while. However, way too many similar stories are being published with no answers at all. A book of riddles means nothing if there's no answer page on the back. Coming up with an answer when you have no way to see if it's right or not is a little sad, I think. If there are no answers, you can't get any joy out of reading a book of riddles. I regret to see that there are way too many stories out there that don't offer this kind of joy. That's why I decided to release something that you can compare your answers to for the series. Since this world had a rather irregular presentation, there may not have been many people who reached what might have... Since this world had a rather irregular presentation, there may not have been many people who reached what might be called the right answer. But it's not really about whether your answer was right or wrong. It's much more about how many questions you raised when reading the story and how many answers you were able to find. Thank you all very much for the solutions you've sent me. They were all wonderful theories, and some were thought out so much more than the actual story that I frequently thought about making them the right answer. Also, your support has given me the courage to finish writing the 7th chapter of the series. Thank you very much for supporting Higurashi. Finally, I would like to apologize about how I portrayed the Child Consultation Center. I don't know what it was like in 1983, but child consultation centers are not mean places like I depicted in my story. I made the characters look so unfeeling, but in reality, the government today is the #1 hero for us civilians. In fact, those involved with child welfare and youth education are all extremely passionate and selflessly devoted people. I'm sorry for giving him such a negative image in this chapter. The next chapter, Matsuri Bayashi, is going to be the last one of the series. I'm overwhelmed by the pressure of writing the last chapter of Higurashi When They Cry, which turned out to be such a long story. I hope you'll continue your kind support. Thank you all very much. Our 7th expansion, Ryokishio7.
Tum tum tum.
Not every government. Yeah, some of them are trying to put the cherry on top of a shit sundae.
Well, I'm glad he decided to put an end to the story. Because not getting a finish to something like this is just frustrating.
Yes. What are you doing?
Stream froze. So refreshing.
How annoying. Alright. I feel like we got a bunch of answers. Especially right at the end. I hate
The one
Takano
thing
so much.
we still do not know is who was behind the previous 4 years of the Watanagashi. Was it always them? Like, I want to say it's Takano. Especially considering she wants to become the god that is history and she considers herself that. So that is like the start of her moving to godhood.
Yeah.
by being the one who invokes the curse of Oyashiro-sama.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing they all had to do, or they all had some kind of stage where they had to be wiped out to keep the virus a secret, or they were advancing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably a reasoning behind it too. But it's still not confirmed yet that it's actually her.
I think it is. Should I write that down? I think in the end, the grand reason behind the last 5 years of murders and disappearances all leads back to Takano wanting this to happen. Because she wants to attain godhood.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet, but it's not confirmed yet. Speaking about answers we have gotten.
Do I write it down as a theory?
I'm quite sure we already have that in the list.
Not really. And I don't recall.
Oh, good.
Do we agree here, or is this just me thinking that?
I literally just said it.
That doesn't mean that when I write them down to commit to our file of predictions that you still agree.
Yeah.
As will be clear when you see our list of predictions, because we have a few shared ones, and there's a bunch that Tifa made, and then there's the avalanche of mine.
I'll write it down and then I say we get into it, because I'm not sure if we will be able to finish the list.
Let that be my worry. Takano causes the mysterious deaths to lead up to her attaining godhood. I mean, it would make sense with that little monologue thing we got at the end, where she goes, "Oh, you will fear me. Even when I die, I will be legend. I have achieved immortality. I am eternal. You will fear me."
Yeah.
Just swooping in at the tail end of a story and go, "Haha, I bit you in your intestines." That's messed up. That's really weird in all the worst senses. But that doesn't make her that big. It just makes her weird and crazy and a murderer. Versus, my grandfather got wind of this somehow through his work. My family probably has been part of his Tokyo organization my entire life for like 3 generations. I have learned about this, and for some reason I want to achieve immortality like this. I need it.
Do you know how many people have that? I
Too
think
many.
that's a very, I don't want to say majority of the world, but there's a very big part of the world. Even people
Yes.
who do very messed up things.
Yes.
Just so that they can cause something that goes down in the history books and people
Yes.
will remember them by.
Not
That's
even,
a lot of people.
Not even something as grand as history books, but there have been cases of people causing terrorist attacks or doing school shootings, so that their names would be in the newspapers. I forgot where it was or which newspaper it was, and I wish I knew to give him credit. I think it was a specific newspaper who at some point decided, we are not going to print the names of the people who did these things, because the last thing we want them to get, we want them to achieve, is renown. We don't want to print the names of the people that commit these crimes, those horrendous things, because we don't want to give them, in hindsight, the pleasure of having achieved this, and we don't want other people to read about them and go, "Oh, I want to do that too. I want to be the one they write about." So we
That's a
stop
good
doing
thing,
this.
but it doesn't work unless everyone does it. And there's always at least one. Actually, nowadays
course.
all of them do, but still.
Yeah, I mean, plus there's the internet and all of this. There's now cameras everywhere. Every single time something horrible happens, we learn about it very quickly.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of technology. And we, in a sense, we also do want to know the names because we want to investigate them. We want to understand why this horrible, messed up thing has happened. I get that. But there's a difference between understanding why something tragic has happened and glorifying it.
I'm just saying there's a lot of people like Takano who try to achieve what she has achieved. So it's a very common thing, I actually dare to say. Not everyone has the resources to be as grand as what she has done.
I think the idea of leaving something behind, doing something that outlasts, or that lasts, and that potentially outlasts your own life is a very human thing.
I never understood that, honestly. I guess I can understand the need to feel like you won't get forgotten. But it's not something...
Well, I think, this is where it's gonna get existential crisis level for a second, but the moment humanity has realized the finity of its own life, like, you know, everything that's alive will die at some point, everything. That's sad, but it's the truth. But the moment you come to that realization, there is a part in most people that goes, well, if my life is a finite amount of time, then I want to create something that is bigger than me, or I want to be part of something that is bigger than me. For a very impressive sense, if you ask me, look at some of the churches humans have built. The Sagrada Familia in Barcelona has been built for over 700 years. This is not supposed to be an argument about faith and church and all of this, but somebody made plans to make a building in someone's honor, something's honor, that would take well beyond the scope of generations to build. I think it just recently got done, according to the specifications. And in a way, you or your work will live on. It's so weird, you'll be dead, you won't know about it.
Well, I think it comes from a fear of, partially because of a fear of death. And it's one of the only ways you can think of on how you can beat that.
Also, I think...
And you want your life to not have been meaningless.
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole meaning of life. Why are we here? What did I do?
If you look at it from a biological angle, that's what I was looking for and struggling to find. Every creature that lives creates offspring. And through that, in a sense, attains immortality. I won't be here in 200 years, but my children and their children will be. I give part of myself to them. Literally, it's 50% of my DNA.
It's how some people see it, yeah.
Yeah, so I leave something behind. It's simply survival by proxy. Yes, that is a much smarter way of putting it than I could think of, because I'm struggling with words right now. Thank you, Psyche. Yes, survival by proxy. There is something left. I leave something behind. And some people don't mind doing the most fucked up, horrendous things to achieve that. As in Takano's case. People have done things like this and worse things in history. Just read a history book. It's wild what some people do. And then they still
not
think
everyone has done it with the reasoning Takano has.
No, of course not, but still. That does. My line was about the horrible things people have done because they decided they want to leave their mark on history.
Oh, like that. Fair enough.
The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. In a sense, yes. Sometimes, at least. What isn't being interred is me drinking all of this. So I say, we're gonna take a short break here. Then I can quickly go pee. And then I set up something that you will see after the break. I have put together in a little presentation, because that's what I do. That's my love language, PowerPoint. Our predictions that we've come up with so far, and we can go through them. Because after looking at the list a while ago, I realized there's no way we're just gonna go through this on stream randomly. It's too many of them. So I've made a little thing. And by a little thing, I mean it's like 30 pages.
We can make a start of it. BRB.
BRB.